Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Few Minutes with Marvin. I am Marvin, and I inspire those who aspire to make positive changes in their lives. Do you believe in synchronicity? Do you even know what synchronicity is? What is a synchronicity in comparison to a coincidence? Ever ponder that question? I have. And I'd like to share my viewpoint on the matter. A coincidence can be categorized as just a happenstance. For example, you were thinking about your kid's teacher, and you were at the grocery store, and there the teacher all of a sudden was at the grocery store too. That's a coincidence. You may wave hello and go on your merry way, but it could also be a synchronicity. Synchronicity occurs when the coincidence is not meant to be a coincidence, but it's supposed to be, something that in the moment you're supposed to address. For example, in that same scenario, the synchronicity could be you were meant to go up and say hello to that teacher, and all of a sudden the teacher gave you information about the upcoming school year that has not been posted on the school site, and it was going to create some hardship for you, and had you waited for the information to get to you, in a couple of weeks from now, you may not have been able to prepare properly to either have whatever the situation may be with the schooling, with or homework or anything, particular project that needed to be completed or forms that needed to be sent in that you weren't aware of. That's a synchronicity. You were meant to think of that teacher and run into that teacher at the grocery store and confront the teacher. Had you not, it would have been just a coincidence, and you may have missed something. So, simply put, synchronicity is a coincidence that's more than a coincidence. That something that, if it happens a couple of times within a short period of time, you need to give a little more attention to than just brush it off as being mere coincidence. One such example in my life, and I've had a lot of things that I thought were coincidences when I left New York to start my catering business, which as most of you already know, I no longer have either. But I had a dream, and dreams can be synchronistic as well. I'm going to do another video on dream significance at a later date, but you can have synchronistic dreams as well. I had a dream that, just the scenario was, a lady handed me a piece of wood, almost like a plaque, but it had an axe in it, and carved in it was chop wood, and she said, go get water. Something to that effect. Strange dream. I didn't think, but at that time I had started a dream journal, so I wrote it in a dream journal. A couple of days later, I'm reading something, and it said chop wood. It's like, what does this mean? So I decided to Google chop wood. It turned out to be a book called Chop Wood, Carry Water. So about that same time is when the pandemic of 2020 started hitting, and my focus was elsewhere because my catering business was in jeopardy, and synchronistically other things started to happen that took me into a different direction with my coloring books, starting this YouTube channel, for instance, becoming a life coach. But in that same time frame, I kept seeing that all of a sudden I knew it was a book, and I've seen it a couple times, and it was mentioned in some YouTube videos that I had watched. But I didn't do anything about it. I actually did. I went to a Barnes & Noble, but because of the pandemic, it was closed. And I just didn't, give it enough attention. I didn't order it online. I didn't, do what I could have at that time. Well, cut to a few months later, a couple days ago specifically, I'm reading a book that I picked up at the library on inspiration. And at the end of the chapter, he mentions chop wood, carry water, a quote from that book. And then a couple minutes later, I'm listening to another YouTuber, and the same book gets mentioned. So I'm like, I'm not going to miss the synchronicity twice. So I looked at my local library This library didn't have it, but one a couple towns over had it in stock. Go figure, library carrying this book. I didn't, it's a spiritual book. I didn't, I guess libraries carry everything, but I found it synchronistic that they had the book, so I went and picked it up. And I have it today, and I didn't read it yet, but I read the foreword, and in it, I can see why I was meant to pick up this book. I'm at a point in my life where this book is going to be very relevant to me and how I go forward. And if you looked at all my other videos, they've all been leading to this, and that's, having patience. And I talk about it a lot, and I talk about just set it, forget it, set intentions, expect miracles and all that. And I absolutely believe it, but I'm still human like everybody else, and you try to force things to happen, and you don't do it consciously. But I was used to working 78 hours a week, so just researching and doing all that is what I do. So even though I set some intentions and I know that they're going to come to fruition, I was giving them a little bit too much attention. And this book, just from what I can tell now, is going to give me some insight onto how to, calm myself and just be in the moment, really, just be present and take things day by day and watch for other signs and synchronicities that are going to point me into the direction of when my intentions will come to fruition. And again, just not even giving much thought, just go through my day. I'm working on developing my humanitarian foundation through my coloring book. I'm taking my life coaching course that ends in December of 2020, and it's basically just telling me, chill out, things are going to happen, don't worry, just be in the moment every day. If you see an opportunity to do something for somebody, do it. Be kind, be compassionate, and to myself too. Go to the gym if you want to go to the gym. Have a slice of pizza if you want to have a slice of pizza and go off your diet. It's okay. Things are still going to happen when they're meant to happen. So synchronicity in this instance, and in every instance, is something that's meant to happen, especially if it happens, and it happens, people see numbers a lot, 1111, or they'll see the same number a lot and go, yeah, that's a coincidence. It may not be. So next time you think something's a coincidence, give it a little more attention, and not just Googling and, just stop in that moment. Remember what you may have been doing in that moment, and then just be aware going forward, so that if another synchronicity pops up, it may bring you an answer, but you have to stop and listen. And that's what synchronicities are. You have to stop your life, not stop your life, but instead of paying attention to all the stuff that's going on in the world and subsequently in your head, shut yourself down for a minute and pay attention. And synchronicity may be giving you answers, or maybe asking you to do something totally different, like what I'm doing now. I went from being a chef and a caterer to being a life coach. Big transformation. Never saw it coming, but the synchronicities were there, and I stopped and listened, and it's the best decision I've ever made. So and it takes courage. Sometimes synchronicity is going to ask you to do things that you're going to go, what the? I never thought that in my entire life. But it'll be so strong. I encourage you to just stop and listen. Give it a chance. It really may bring you something mind-blowing, like it has for me. So look out for synchronicities, my friends. There is a big difference in it. It may or may not be something. It could be just a coincidence. But give it a little more attention than you have in the past, and see where synchronicity takes you. If you like the contents of this video, please like, share, subscribe, and I'd love to hear some comments about your synchronicities, or what you may think are synchronicities that you may look deeper into after listening to this video. Have a synchronistic day.